Hello and welcome everyone. If you're here, then that means that you've played or beaten Returnal, one of Sony's first PlayStation 5 exclusives to come out last year. Returnal is a third-person sci-fi action-adventure game with a slightly dash of horror in it. This game was created by Housemarque Games, who are known for their indie games such as Machina and Resogun. So this was their first major AAA game. You play as Celine Vassos, an astronaut slash space explorer who crash lands and wakes up on a mysterious alien planet following a signal where she must survive and find a means to escape the planet. But this game is much more than just escaping this mysterious planet. If you die in this game, you return right where you started, aka the beginning of the game. Basically, your own personal Edge of Tomorrow and Groundhog Day. You live, you die, you repeat. So this game is kind of like Dark Souls, but without a checkpoint or a shrine to rest at. Or if you want to be technical, it's a roguelike game. Now, 2021 was a rough year for me in terms of next-gen gaming because I spent half the time trying to secure a PS5 and the other half dedicated to playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition. But in June, I was finally able to get one, and Returnal was the first game that I bought. What really drew me to this game was how mysterious it was, and how beautifully designed the creatures in the world were, sharing similar tones and themes to the film Annihilation, not to mention that it reminded me and has the same elements of games such as Control and Alan Wake by Remedy Games, and I'm a huge fan of them, so that was a plus for me. After hearing how people were raging due to the difficulties of this game, I was frankly nervous but excited at the same time. After exploring the first biome and making it to biome 3, I knew that I had to play this game differently than I would any other games. The only way to survive Returnal was to be on and off with the game, because I knew if I dedicated all of my hours with this game, I would probably grow to hate it like everyone else who gave up on this game did. But once I made it to the third biome and fought Nemesis, I almost did give up on it due to the difficulty. But luckily, 3 months later, Housemarque Games heard the complaints of players and decided to add a photo mode and went on about their lives. Nah, I'm just kidding. They added a suspend cycle mode, which allows you to suspend your game, leaving right where you left off. This feature was perfect for boss battles because all you had to do was make it to the area and suspend the game. Not to mention the cheat that I found on Reddit where you can suspend the game and upload your save to the cloud. That way, if you die, you can just download your save and go right back to where you were. This still allows you to follow the premise of the game without taking anything away from it. After beating Nemesis, the game really does become extremely easy. Like the last two bosses took me only one try, but Hyperion took multiple tries because I had like 1/10 of health in my suspend cycle, so that was a real pain. Once I beat the final boss on the first try, all the tension in my body just went out, and I let out a huge sigh of relief. Only to be revealed that there's a true ending to the game and then I have to dive back into the world. But it only took me an hour to get the true ending, so it was very easy. Once the credits hit and Fear the Reaper started playing, a huge smile appeared on my face because this truly was my game of the year, and the fact that I beat it was a real pleasure of mine. Returnal is one of, if not the most underrated game to come out last year. This game has so many dynamics that make it so beautiful. The sounds, the way it utilizes the DualShock controller, the graphics, and the story. This game has the best boss battles I've seen in a while. Not only are the boss fights more challenging, but they are surprisingly spectacular in terms of art style and graphics. Each one stands out on its own, delivering a new take on how to make a boss fight look good and challenging at the same time. Not to mention each boss having something to do with Celine's inner demons is another thing that blew me away with the bosses. Every battle delivers its own beautiful OST that not only makes the battle intense, but beautiful as well. My favorite OST is a tie between Hyperion and Zion, but Hyperion has a slight edge over it. The orchestra that plays as you're climbing up to battle him is what makes him stand out, because the song is so beautiful yet intense. The gameplay is where the game truly shines, because it gets to show off its beautiful art design and to also show you why it won Best Art Design of last year at the Game Awards. Every enemy shoots these projectiles that just leaves you in awe every time they fire at you, but then you come to your senses because they are about to kill you. One of the things I love is the lore and story in this game. I love that it comes from Greek mythology and opens a new door to the story. Also, the fact that you can learn more and more information by killing enemies over and over again and using equipment items over and over again to encrypt and learn more information. The use of the scout logs help flesh the story out even more because it gives you more backstory into how long Celine has been in this hell and what she has done before she gets ready to do it. Once you reach the end of the story, you get two endings. One is where you encounter the Red Eyes Metal Kraken and it's revealed that you were in a car crash and your daughter Helios was left in the car as you were being pulled out. And the full ending reveals that the events between you and your mother has caused you to be very spiteful and angry, and that you were the one that caused the accident, revealing that you were both the creator and the destroyer that all of the xenoglyphs have been talking about, which is also revealed in one of the scout logs you get after one of the house sequences. I love how this story can be seen in multiple different ways and they all make sense. I've seen other people say that this is all in Celine's head and she's just dealing with a traumatic event in her own way. Another person said that Celine is dead and this is her own personal hell. And it got me thinking that this might actually be true, because as you dig deeper into the lore of the game, you come across shocking revelations about Celine and her past, like the events with her mother and the car crash that put her in this predicament. Not to mention the astronaut that follows you around in the game, who makes you question the game even more. Astronaut! But the one thing that I really loved the most out of the game, and was the real eye catcher for me, was the house. I remember seeing the house for the first time, and I just stood there in awe, just like Celine when she first saw it. This is where you get more information about Celine and who she is. It was truly amazing and creepy being inside there because it made you just want to stay in there like the pandemic and never leave. This was the only time where I would be excited to die because that meant that I got to experience another house sequence. I remember on the loading screen, the giant red-eyed monster would appear on the screen, and every time it showed up, my anticipation to encounter the being reached higher and higher. I knew that this Lovecraft-inspired monster was the answer to all of my problems, and it would help bring clarity. Now that I've praised the game so much, it's time I talk about the elephant in the room, which is the level of difficulty it takes for you to just like and hit the subscribe button. Not only will this help me out, but it will help Celine escape the hell that she has created. Now this game is really challenging at first because you don't know what you're doing and what you're fighting. But once you have the right weapon and equipment, this game becomes fairly easy. It's like the game was testing your will and drive before making it easier later on. If you're one of those people that gave up on this game, I would highly recommend you get back into it because you're literally missing out on one of the best games that came out last year. One of my favorite YouTubers, Maximilian Dudes, Returnal was his game of the year. So if any of you are Maximilian fans and have a PS5 and haven't finished Returnal, I would highly recommend playing this. I would highly recommend playing it and finish it because it really is one of the best games that came out last year, and it also got snubbed for a Game of the Year nomination. So that's saying something. Hell, it was already my Game of the Year, and I couldn't even get past Nemesis. The suspend cycle / download your save to the cloud combo is your best friend in this game. This really is this game's game saver. Like, I'm not even lying. This suspend cycle is literally the best feature in the game. Before they added this feature, Returnal was a game that required you to dedicate tons and tons of hours for towards completing this game, or even completing a specific biome. So this game already required so much draining from you, so I can understand why players would get frustrated at this game, because they have to spend so many hours in one biome just to get to the next biome and get to the next biome and then get to the boss. So I understand why they would be frustrated in this game and would give up on it. But the suspense cycle is really your best friend. I am currently rerunning through every biome in this game, and the suspense cycle has made me fall in love with the game even more, because I can literally go as far as I want to, suspend it, and then save it, and then save my file to the cloud. And it just makes me fall in love with the game even more and more than I already did. Like, I promise you, if you play this game and you haven't finished it yet because of the whole requirements, I'm begging you to please give this game another try. This is the reason why they put this feature in the game, because they want you to experience this game. Like, seeing the gameplay is one thing, but just playing it for yourself is another feeling. It's just spectacular, man. Like, I can't even describe how amazing, how much I love this game. Just from the worlds that we're in, and all of the biomes and the monsters and all the stuff that we have to do in the game. It's just breathtaking and so spectacular. I really hope that we do get a Returnal 2, or at least some DLC to hold us down, like story related DLC, because I really would love to see another story in this universe, because it truly is a remarkable game. And I hope that Housemarque does make a sequel, because it rightfully deserves its own sequel. Returnal is the game of 2021. As a matter of fact, it's the underrated game of 2021, because not many people played it because it didn't have a PS5, and not many people played it because they gave up on it due to the difficulty and having to restart from the beginning. But the suspense cycle is literally the game changer for you to even hop back into this game. So please hop back into this game. This game is truly amazing and deserves all of the praise. If you can see the white shadow, then leave a comment to let Celine know that you enjoyed this video. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.